Good morning friends. In today's video, we're going to discuss and analyze the latest developments of Middle East. In recent Israel's covert operation, it was able to take down key leadership and key operatives of Hezbollah. Around 1997 and 98, Israel's IDF was able to eliminate its enemies of Hamas by using cell phone bombing. Israel has the world's best intelligence and surveillance mechanism. Due to it, it is able to eliminate its enemies with precision. We are nearing to the anniversary of October 7th genocidal attack. Israel is under pressure to make a point. The constant and growing number of rocket attacks on Israel's northern border forced Israel to act on Hezbollah. If we really have to see this in an objective manner, if we have to say we are living in a bipolar world. There is one side US, Israel and European Union. There is another side, Russia, China and Iran and its proxies. In a way, if we have to say that Russia and US has outsourced their war to other countries, like they are taking the help of their regional powers. And you often see these two powerhouses going for the regime changes, toppling the governments, indirectly influencing their way into their governments. Look at the example of Syria, where America somehow tried to intervene and tried to topple the government of Bashar al-Assad, which was curtailed by the Russian intervention. Somehow you get the sense that these powerhouses doesn't treat these Middle Eastern people on par with rest of the society. They treat them like just rabid individuals who are there just to peddle and further their own agenda. You just take away the power of oil, you just take away the power of these countries buying weapons from these powerhouses. In rarest of the rare dreams, they will never gonna think about these countries. Because of the oil money, because of the oil reserves, these powerhouses need the oil. These powerhouses need these countries keep on buying their equipment, keep on buying their weapons. If you think for a few minutes, you will be able to understand that a tiny terrorist organization like Hamas was able to pull off October 7th. Why? Because few unknown powerhouses were supporting it. Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis are the proxies of Iran. Iran never indulges in direct warfare. It supports them with ideology, it supports them with money, equipment, training, providing surveillance mechanisms, giving them intelligence inputs, and covering their acts with the help of media. Hezbollah is considered as political party within its vicinity, but it is considered as a terrorist organization by the EU and US. The failure of global conglomerates and global powers and so-called peacekeepers like UN is encouraging and enabling these terror outfits to act more, do more damage. Just imagine these two powerhouses are allying with the most of the monarchies, kingdoms and the autocracies, where you will never gonna find a shred of human rights, human values being followed, because they does have the oil power, money power, because they have this petrodollar connection. They will always ignore the atrocities being meted out on the citizens of those countries. But they will gonna give Nyan to India about human rights violations. Look at the status of some of the countries which does have the worst cases of human rights violations and curtailing of free press. You will never see these Hippocratic powerhouses preaching about those transgressions in these parts of the world. They're happy to look away. They are happy to ignore the plight of the citizens of those countries. What is the main reason? You simply think that they are not treating them as like living, breathing civilizations. They are thinking them as like a rabid, tribal individuals who are there just to be used, who are there just to act as pawns for their own cause. In order to cover up their shit, they just coined a term, strategic allies. So whatever shit happens in their countries, they are not bothered about it. They will never gonna speak about it. In fact, these powerhouses always use their veto power to toe their line of their strategic allies. At the end of the day, it's their individual interests, political, economical, business interests that only matter to these countries. Let's see how this covert operation is gonna benefit Israel. This preemptive strike is gonna paralyze Hezbollah network. It's gonna cut down Hezbollah's communication channels, supply chain also. People are now fearing to use any mobile phone or any electronic gadget. So there is a sense of shock. They are paralyzed. They are not able to take an remedial action. They will think twice before retribution. Second benefit Israel going to get is that they have proven a point before the October 7th anniversary. They are able to showcase their own people that they were able to take down the enemies. Undercurrently, this covert operations has given a signal to Iran, just be aware of our power. If you continuously try to act against Israel's interest, we're gonna come against you. We're gonna hit you where it's gonna hurt more. It has taken enemy's stealth value. On top of it, the most important point here is that Israel was able to deliver a message to the US. Despite your investment and your interest in Ukraine-Russia war, despite being you are allocating your most of the resources to the Ukraine war, despite your non-cooperation, we were able to take down our enemies. In fact, we were able to take down your enemies also. In 1983 Beirut bombings, America sustained more than 300 casualties. And the kingpin of that attack, Ibrahim Akil, was taken down by the Israel. It's all said and done, war is ugly. War comes with human loss. Honestly, if really these world powers are worried about human lives and human values, if they really want to protect the lives of innocent people being taken away or killed or being bombed, why can't they step aside from their agenda of getting more and more power or more and more resources from these Middle Eastern countries? Why can't they have an honest conversation on the topic of having peace? I strongly believe there is a need to renegotiate this Abraham Accord. If you really have a good intention, if you really have a great concern for humanity, one needs to make a way for enabling peace talks between these two warring parties. War is ugly. It brings human loss. It brings unimaginable atrocities on children and families. To take any war, the most affected persons in the war are children and women, innocent people. There is a need to negotiate. There is a need to start the talks. There is a need to settle down these differences by talking and sitting across a table and having a proper conversation. There is a greater need to change the power dynamics of Security Council. We need to incorporate countries like India, Brazil, South Africa, which are well-meaning and democratic countries. Unless until it happens, this power of vetoing the other's opponent or just furthering their own cause will gonna cost humanity. Until next time, this is Gautam signing off.